Have you heard other YouTubers or read articles about what do the rich do? And basically try to learn, okay, what are the top 5 or top 10, top 13, whatever tips that the rich do that you don't do? Now, they may explain what the rich do, but there's never an explanation as to why they do it. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the principle of paying yourself first. This is a principle that's commonly cited in books like Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich or Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But I'm not just going to talk about what paying yourself first is, but I'm going to explain the philosophy and the principle behind it so you can better understand it. But before I get into it, please like and comment this video, subscribe to this channel, it really helps me out, alright? Now before I get into the philosophy of the why and how this principle works, I need to explain what the principle is. Very simply, paying yourself first is paying yourself first. Okay. It's a lot easier to explain through an example. Let's say that you make $2,000 a month. This is your net after taxes. This is the money that you have in order to pay for everything. Your bills, rent, food, utilities, you name it. That's what you have. $2,000 a month. And for sake of argument, let's just give yourself some very simple expenses. You have rent. Let's say it's $900. You spend $300 on food, $200 on utilities, $200 on car expenses, and you got $100 on just entertainment. That leaves you with $300 at the end of the month. And you can do whatever you want with that. You can save it, put it into an individual retirement account, which is what I'd recommend. But if you want to buy a cool camera or a computer, go on some kind of trip or vacation, you can do that. It's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. But basically, that's the money that is left over after all of your expenses for the month are paid for. Now, maybe one month you go out with your friends a little bit too much, or you spend a little bit extra money on your entertainment. It goes up by $50. Or, it's summertime, it's getting super hot. You have to crank the AC up so your utility bill goes up. Normally, you would just not save as much money. You wouldn't save the $300. Maybe you save $250 or $200. Totally fine. Not a problem. You're still in the black. You're still saving $200 a month. That's great. This is all pretty reasonable. There's nothing wrong with it. And everybody does it. But not everybody is rich. In this whole situation, I've explained not paying yourself first. All of the bills have been paid, and whatever's left over at the end,
those scraps,
that's for you. But what the rich do is they pay themselves first. That $300 that you save is just put up front into whatever you want. That camera, that vacation, that $300 is getting saved no matter what. And the bills and everything else come later. Well, alright Alex, I guess you just flipped the order of when things get paid. True, if your electric bill goes up and you don't have the money to pay for it because you are now at a negative balance, the electric company is going to come after you. Well, that doesn't sound like a really good idea, Alex. The rich have electricity. What's the point? The point of this whole thing, and the reason why this principle works, is because it puts pressure on you. It puts a little bit of stress. You see, in the first situation where you're not paying yourself first, and you're in the black, and you're saving less money, but everybody's happy. The utilities company's happy, your rent people are happy, your friends are happy, all those people are happy, and you're just left over with some scraps. And your brain is perfectly happy as well. You haven't put any stress on the brain, which means that your brain's not doing anything. Now, if you had some kind of stress or pressure because you've got a bill to pay and you don't have the money, then your brain's going to start thinking about solutions. Your brain's going to start thinking, well, maybe I can take a little bit less in entertainment to cover the extra electric bill. Or perhaps you may have some stuff lying around the house that you don't really use and you could sell it and make some money that way. Basically, in the first situation where you don't pay yourself first, you're still saving. But when you don't pay yourself first, you have shut off an incredibly powerful asset, which is your brain and its ability to think and come up with ideas and solutions. You're not utilizing your brain and your mind. In the case where you pay yourself first, you've at least put yourself in a situation where your brain has to do something. It has to work. It has to think of solutions because some external stimulus has been imposed on your mind. When you put this stress or pressure on the brain to get it to think of different things, different ideas, whether it's a way to save more money or how to make more money, these are things that help you become richer. The rich come up with new business ideas to help them make more money or find new creative ways to cut expenses. But without that stimulus, without that pressure or that stress, you would have never come up with those ideas. Not just that, but you're saving more money. The reason why the rich get rich is because they're saving more money. They're paying themselves first. Instead of saving $200 because you had an extra electric bill or you partied a little more, you're now saving $300. That's a really fast way to get rich. In fact, the difference between saving $300 a month and $200 a month is staggering. If you saved $200 a month and put it in some investment that makes an annual return of 7%, over the course of 20 years, you would make over $113,000. But instead of saving $200, you saved $300 and you had that same 7% annual rate of return over 20 years, you'd make over $170,000. So you can see how this pay yourself first principle really can make people quite rich. So I've described the principle and idea behind paying yourself first, the philosophy about how and why it works. But I believe there is an even deeper idea behind paying yourself first that isn't even mentioned in Think and Grow Rich or Rich Dad Poor Dad, or even what other YouTubers are talking about. This idea is potentially much more lucrative than just the simple principle that I have laid out for you. In my next video, I'm going to describe the deeper, more underlying concept behind paying yourself first that really makes what I've just described pale in comparison. The returns that you can make with this deeper idea behind paying yourself first is significantly more rewarding. So stay tuned on this channel because in my next video, I'm going to go over part 2 of paying yourself first and the even deeper, more powerful concept behind the principle. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon.